Hey everyone, this is Bellagio. I hope you guys are doing well. Today's video, we are going to cover the new unit, Treasure Map Legend, Dr Vegapunk. He is Strength, Type, and Cerebral Free Spirit classes. So, how good he is? How bad is he? Is he good in Rumble? Let's wait no more. Let's go. So, I believe you guys might already have some time to read his captain ability, so I'm not going to go line by line. Just to sum it up, his captain ability is pretty okay in my opinion, compared to any other, normal legend, not like a Super Sugo Fest legend. I think he's good. The first thing that is good is that he has passive skill of reduction of the spatial reverse by 10 turns. No condition, period. So that is one very good thing. The second good thing is that he has potential to boost your attack up to 6.6, and that is when you can build the team, the specific team, in which you have to have 4 or more scientists, Seraphim, or O'Hara in your crew, in your team. So it's specific. It's I think it's not quite flexible. There's not many units in that tags. Therefore, it's going to be a little hard. Not many varieties of the teams that you can build with them compared to other teams. And but anyway, the outcome is good if you can meet the requirement, because the boost would be up to like 6.6 when you have slot match, and 6.25 or something like that when you have just regular match and unmatched slot. So those are the good things. The bad things about this captain ability, having as a captain, is that first is not quite flexible. He has requirement which is narrowing him down to just some specific teams, so you don't have much varieties of using him. And to be honest, he is just a TM legend, so most of the time when we play, we are not going to use TM legends as a captain unless it's the event for him, like TM coming up TM. But after this coming up TMs, he might not be C that much. Okay, just to be straightforward. And then his special is pretty good. He canceled or removed 2 major gimmicks, and those are the Rainbow Shield and another one is Despair. So Rainbow Shield and Despair, I consider them as major gimmicks, because if you have those gimmicks on your team, if you have those inflict to your team, then you can't do much. That's why I said it's major. So remove 2 major gimmicks, pretty good. And then boost type. If you have 4 more scientists, so there's a requirement here again. He boosts type effect. So type effect is not, I would not consider it's like the very best booster, because type effects means you have to have the stronger color, and usually if he's the strength and cerebral, this kind of like with this boost, it's kind of gives us a hint that if you want to use him as well in your team, you kind of want to mix and match several colors in the team, not just you don't want to go mono color like strength colors or or int color, for example, and just to make use of this boost to the maximum, and then next is that he has the next requirement, which is let's move to this here. It says if there are 6 cerebral characters and 3 or more scientists. So this is requirement, 2 layers of requirement. First layer is you have to have 6 cerebrals in your team. Second requirement is that within that 6 cerebrals, at least 3 of them has to be scientists. So that makes it even harder, I think. Make it even harder to build the team for him. to have him even in a crew because this is special. But if you can do it, the outcome is very good. What comes after is really good. It said reduces middle role scientist special charge time by 15 turns. That's almost like you are given another special launch for 2 units, and that's pretty awesome in my opinion. And on top of that, boost cerebral character slot effects by 3.25, and that's pretty high number. So if you can meet this requirement, the 2 layers requirement I talked about, then the what comes after is really good. So all in all, I think the special is pretty good, very good. But again, it's kind of narrowed down to just a certain team build. And the name is probably written down here, Super Tandem. The activation requirements, you need to have all these names in here. And think about how many scientists in the movie in One Piece. It's just Dr. Vegapunk, several versions, and then it's gonna be Clover, but we never have him as a legend, so he's just gonna be a rare recruit. Caesar, yes, and Queen, yes. Judge, yes. Maybe another one is Saturn. He's also scientist, but he's not in this list though. Keep in mind, you can use Saturn in this team, but he will not be in a list to activate its Super Tandem or even Super Class. I checked that earlier. Alright, so that being said, beside those names that I mentioned, to activate Super Tandem, there are like all the Seraphims are included in here, Stussy included, Kuma, Bonnie, and Sentomaru, Kizaru. Yeah, these names are included. So but Kizaru is not cerebral. Sentomaru is not cerebral. Kuma, yes. Jewelry, yes. You can find them as cerebral. Yeah. Alright. Let's look at tandems. I think tandem is pretty good. Attack boost by 3.25 for scientist Seraphim. Very good. And the cherry on top is that also adding 25%, but who cares about that, right? So that's just a cherry on top. So all in all, I think the tandem is pretty good. Oh, the tandem only apply on the final battle. So just another thing to keep in mind. And then his support is pretty good, I think. The tag can be support on character with the scientist tags, and basically what I'm after is this reduced crew's despair by 3 turns. Pretty good. Then if we move on to what's down here, Superclass is also, I think I like it. The only thing I don't like is that the Superclass is not usable when he's a crew, so only usable when he's a captain. And as I mentioned earlier, he is probably not going to be our captain long run. We're going to use Super Fest Legends as our captain more likely. Therefore, if we have to use him, he will be a crew, and because of that, we cannot activate his super class unless we have some units with the mechanic of switching captains. In that case, we can have him as a captain and we can launch super class. Super class is pretty good. Remove defense up by 5 turns, and then also converting slot boost to still slot boost, but that's not considered slot boost. Isn't that awesome? And then of course changing characters cerebral to super cerebral. So that's pretty good, I think. Just remove defense up by 5 turns is already awesome. Alright, so that would be it for the gameplay, the main gameplay. So I said if we can meet all the requirements that captain ability and spatials are talking about, all those tandem requirement, superclass activation requirement, if we can make it, then I think the outcome is very good. Then he will be considered one of the very good unit. However, if you cannot make it, it's meaningless. He is not good if you cannot make his requirements. So I would suggest, if you're free to play, or if your character box does not include a lot of scientists or a lot of Vegapunk or Seraphims, especially those Legends version, then it's not worth to pull him. But if you have like majority of them, 80% of them, then yeah, you can give it a try. Or worst come to worst, if you have those Rainbow Tavern and that's about to expire, you can do some pull, maybe 1 or 2. Alright, let's move on to the Rumble version. So the Rumble version, the first one here is the Rumble Special, and just look at here, his special CT is 28, so that's somewhat in the mid, not too high, not too low, I think. Excuse me. And his Rumble Special, if he get to activate, he will give the whole team shield level 5, which is pretty good. And then if the character has half stats, then target strength cerebral class teammate for special CT 30% reduction. That's pretty good. However, in order to have half stat, it's a little bit conditioned. Yeah, it's a little bit conditioned that you need to like fight against team that fight against enemy that has units to half stat yourself, and it's not often. It's kind of random, right? So you need to know units pretty good. You need to know PvP pretty good in order to like figure out what team that you want to use this unit against. The other one is that so far we have only one unit that put half stat to our own team, and that is no one else but Stussy. Stussy just came out a week ago, not even a week, I don't know. Yeah, Stussy just came out, and she has the ability to put half stat on the team for 5 seconds. I repeat, for 5 seconds. So if you want to like predict, have like a more reliable, more consistent, and then make use of this line here, then you kind of want to put him together with Stussy. And it's somewhat planned, it's somewhat calculated by Bandai. They just released Stussy, and now they released this one because they want us to put them together. They work okay together, I think. I don't say it work well. Why? Because sometimes, Stussy has what? I think Stussy has spatial CT of something like 25, and he has 28. But when you run them, 25 and 28 means Stussy special should launch before this guy. However, when you actually run in a team, RNG doesn't care about who gets to go. Doesn't care about who has lower number of CT, right? And especially Stussy has 25. This guy has 28. That's only like 3 seconds different. So there are chances that this guy will launch his special before Stussy, and if he does, and if that happens, it's not as you plan, and this thing will not trigger, right? So you want Stussy to launch her special before this guy, but with randomized, maybe it's not always true. You might have like 50% chance at the end, but if it does, it's good, because it means that Stussy launched her special, and then her next special will be even faster, right? But keep in mind, only 5 seconds, because Stussy applies half stat for 5 seconds, and this said if character has half stat, so within that 5 seconds, this guy has to launch. Make it even harder, okay? I don't know how hard it's going to be, how often this guy is going to launch, and then how often this line will trigger. We'll have to see in real fight. And then the last line here is that if there are 5 or more egghead, which is okay, easy to make. Egghead tech is that's a bunch of them on a team. Then you get heal 600 HP interval healing, target strength type cerebral class for HP 30% healing. So this last line here, healing, interval healing, instant 30% healing, and then shield from the first line. It's just giving me an idea that this guy is going to make our team stand longer, as long as he gets to launch his special. Okay, so his special in terms of healing and things to do with in terms of healing is good, but the second line here, I mean, if we can activate that consistently, that is the best. That is the best thing, but because of that, it's kind of conditioning. So I don't really like it. I like it to be like, no need to have that line, just no need to have condition, just target strength type cerebral class teammate for special C3 30%, period. That would be awesome, but because of this first line here, the clause, the condition here, I don't really like that. So I give his special, his special would be just for me, just decent, not great. All right, and let's move on to his rumble ability. Let's look at his rumble ability, what it does. He boosts strength type cerebral class attack recovery by 6, defense by 3. When teammate is defeated, target strength cerebral class teammate for recovery 3 healings. After receiving half stat up to 5 times, all enemy special CT 20% delays. Okay, so the first line here, attack up by 6, recovery up by 6, defense up by 3. I don't like that. I mean, usually a legend would boost your stat at least, regardless of what criteria, at least 20 would consider it standard. So he only boosts you 15, so that's lower than standard in my opinion. So that's not good enough. The number should be at least close to 20. This is by far, it's like 5 off from 20. It's not, so I don't like it. And then the next thing is target strength. If teammate is defeated, then he heals other teammates by recovery times 3 of him, his recovery. I think it's I don't know. I don't want to wait until my teammate dies, right? If your teammate dies, that means some of the cycles and all things are, it's not good. So, and then healing by that point might not be good enough anymore. So I don't know. I don't know how this one's gonna turn out, but this is a passive skill. If he dies, then this will not trigger. Kuma also has passive skill, something like this, similar to this, but Kuma is that every time that free spirit or int teammates received damage, then he will heal with recovery times 1 for 12 times. That I think is better than this. This one you have to wait until someone dies and he will activate his recovery times 3, which I don't like it. I don't want someone to die, but maybe, I don't know. I just don't like it at the first reading. And then, but the last one is the awesome part. It's down here. If you receive half stats up to 5 times. So in order to receive half stat up to 5 times consistently, is basically you have to pair him with Stussy. At least in one game, Stussy can launch her special once or twice at least, and that means it will automatically reduce all enemies special CT by 20%. Period. So if Stussy gets to go, then he gets to use this one. That's pretty good. And then his resistance, he evades special bind, which is okay. And then that's it. So in term of Rumble mode, I think if you want to pull him alone, no, you need to have with Stussy. He is supposed to pair with Stussy. If you don't have Stussy, and if you don't plan to pull Stussy, then do not need to pull this guy. Period. So if I have to give an Excel sheet, going back to my Excel sheet here, like unit evaluation for the gameplay, he would be considered should pull unit. However, this point is based on the assumption that you can make the team with him. Then he is a good unit. You should pull. But if you cannot make the team with him, he will drop down to shouldn't pull. Okay, and then when you're looking at Rumble alone, he by himself it's should wait category. However, if you have Stussy, then many things could change here, and then he will become a should pull. Okay, so he is a little bit tricky. So that would be all for this unit evaluation, my opinion. I hope you guys like the video. If you do, please hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.